Hello, welcome to the two-part series on complete sentences. In the first part, we will learn what it takes to make a complete sentence. In the second part, we will identify complete and incomplete sentences. Now, what is a complete sentence? Well, a complete sentence has two parts. One, a complete sentence has a subject. Two, a complete sentence has a predicate. Now, what is the subject in a sentence? Well, the subject tells two things. The subject is a noun, and a noun is a person, place, or thing. And it also says the subject tells who or what the sentence is about. What is the predicate in a sentence? The predicate in a sentence tells what the subject is doing or what the subject is. Welcome to Complete Sentences Part 2. In this section of the lesson, we will identify complete and incomplete sentences. Now, first of all, let's review what a complete sentence looks like. Here we have the sentence called Mr. H is a teacher. Now, Mr. H is the subject. That's who the sentence is about. Now, is a teacher is the predicate. It's telling what Mr. H is. Mr. H is a teacher. Mr. H is the subject. Is a teacher is the predicate. Now, this is a complete sentence because it has a subject and a predicate. Now, let's go over some sentences that may or may not be complete sentences. Australia is the smallest continent. Well, let's look at that. Is that a complete sentence or is that an incomplete sentence? I'll give you time to think. Okay, now that you've had time to think, what's the subject? If you said Australia, you're right. And what's the predicate? Is the smallest continent. That's the predicate. If you said both of those things, you got it right. It's a complete sentence. Now, let's look at another example. Learning about oceans. I'll give you a moment to think about that. Complete or incomplete? Well, let's see. Oh, it's incomplete. What is it missing? Well, learning about oceans. Who's learning about oceans, or what is learning about oceans? Well, we're missing the subject, the who or what the sentence is about. All right, so this is an incomplete sentence because we're given a predicate. We're missing the subject. Now let's look at another example. On Grand Bahama Island. I'll give you a moment to think about, is that a complete sentence or an incomplete sentence? Well, if you said incomplete, you're right, because it's missing the predicate. Grand Bahama Island is an island is a noun. Grand Bahama, it makes it a proper noun. So we're missing the predicate. What about Grand Bahama Island? That's what we have to ask ourselves. This is not a complete sentence. Let's do one more before we finish up. Earth has north and south poles. Complete or incomplete? You tell me. If you said complete, you're right, because Earth is the subject. And what is it telling us about Earth? It has north and south poles. It has a predicate. So this has a subject, Earth, and a predicate, has north and south poles. Complete sentence. So, thank you for watching both parts of complete or incomplete sentences. I hope we will now understand this, and if you have any questions in the future, ask me.